What's up, guys and gals, and welcome back to the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Ark Survival Evolved. You know, this is a very, very strange day for me. I always feel like when I get back from the weekend, I'm doomed. I don't know what that overwhelming... Does anybody else get that with their job? Like, where you get back from the weekend, you had like a fantastic weekend, you're all ready to go. I saw Kevin Hart at the Oracle Arena this weekend. It was pretty awesome. It was up in Oakland. It got off the hook. It was pretty wild up in there. It was hot, though. That was the weirdest part, is like up in the Oracle Arena, I was up in the nosebleeds because I'm broke and I'm poor, and that's unfortunately the only seats that you get when you're broke and you're poor. But anyways, I'm gonna go back a little. Let's step backwards. This is not a platform to complain. Sometimes I gotta have like a conversation in my head and stop myself from the horrible things I'm about to say, because I know it's just gonna turn into a giant bitch fest. Like, I know that it's gonna. I know myself, and I know how much I enjoy complaining, and I just know it's gonna go in that direction. So as a defense mechanism, I stop myself, and then I discuss it for 25 minutes at the beginning of my Ark Survival episodes. But anyways, it was hot as hell in the Oracle Arena. I was up inside of there, and we were actually the second to last row, like all the way up by the ceiling. It's all good, though, because the tickets were free. Won them on the radio, and so we were way up in the top. But the problem with that is essentially they put you in like this weird Tupperware petri dish full of humanity. That's pretty much all that an arena is, especially if it's got like a concrete ceiling on it that you can't see anything or like get out of it. And so there's no place for the bacteria to escape. And I went there and I walked in, and the second I saw the layout of the place, I thought to myself, I'm gonna get sick here. There's no way that I'm not gonna get sick here today. And sure enough, I did. I got sick at the Oracle Arena. I got sick once I got home, like 6 hours later. And so anyways, I rode that out over the course of the weekend, and I came back. We have our Ankyosaurus right here. He is bash nasty. I got home from the Oracle Arena, and actually I don't even know where I'm going with this story. Usually I have some kind of punchline, or I have some place that this is all working towards. By the way, am I even going in the right direction right now? I'm sort of going in the right direction. This guy is ridiculously hard to navigate around the map with if you fly, and so this entire episode could possibly be just me trying to be back at home with all my other dinosaurs. I don't even know exactly what I'm working towards right now aside from going home, but I figured, Matt, I'm gonna pop on the camera. We've reached the point in this series where I have no like real cumulative idea what I'm doing anymore. I don't even know if I should use cumulative right there. I don't think it's the right word to use, but anyways, I've reached the point in this series now where I have no idea what I'm doing anymore. Like, I don't even know what I should film any longer because we've basically done everything in the game. But at the same time, like, no other survival game has stepped forward to pass the torch on. Like, my channel is very much branded towards survival games. Like, those are what I get the best metrics on. That's what you guys have the most fun watching most of the time. And so typically I try to... Oh, no. Did I just fall through the earth? Oh, that was terrifying. I've actually had to save myself before... Bash, where'd you go? God... Pathfinding, please work your way around that rock and that tree and that stump and that leaf. You can make it. I know that you're lumpy, but you can make it. I gotta sing him like a victory song before he actually is the victor. Sometimes you gotta start the victory song before the background music plays. It is what it is. I'm confident in my standings in the world. We pretty much have every dinosaur in the game. There's like one or two things that I'm missing, but I don't feel like taming them because it'll take forever. Like, for example, I know people want me to get a Spino, and I've been dreading it. I'm actually going to try and do it over the weekend, I think. Not really sure. It's a Monday right now, in case you're wondering. It's a Monday, which is a fun day, and out in the Sunday, it's actually pretty warm. Yesterday, I went outside for a run, and my girlfriend was like, it's super hot outside. That's like the reaction of everybody that lives here. Like, everybody in this area, if it's after, like, April, you just assume that it's like 500 degrees outside. You don't check. Like, she had not been outside that day because it was her day off. And honestly, I think that's the ultimate goal of a day off, is not to go outside at all. Like, how long can I spend attached to the digital realm before I am forced to go outside? That's what a weekend means to me in my mind. And so we had been just lazing about on the couch. We finished our last Harry Potter movie because we have this rotation we do at my house. We have this thing that we do when it comes to our entertainment where... Bash, are you still here? He's so adorable. He's got the legs of like a corgi dog. I know they're little elephant legs. I mean, not an aesthetic appearance. What I mean is that when he runs like a corgi runs, just like totally clumsily, just like that's the sound that I imagine a corgi makes when it runs. I don't know. Just all excited, just trying to go from one end of the room to the other. My girlfriend wants a corgi super badly too, but we have no room at my house. Like, we have too many pets. We just got Ollie, and Ollie is like more than I can handle. This Ankyosaurus is going to drag this out. This is going to be an entire episode of just like Homeward Bound with our Ankyosaurus. Remind me never to take him anywhere. I have heard that the birds can pick up dinosaurs and take them to other places. So if you needed to move your dinosaurs around the map, they can make that happen. I am sort of excited about that proclamation. I don't know if that was a proclamation. Who would proclaim that? That seems like a really sort of lackluster proclamation. So am I going the right way right now? I get so disoriented in this game. And this is the only game that I do it in. Okay, I'm lying. You guys have watched. It's hard for me to lie to you guys because you watch every single thing that I do in a video game. Like, there's nothing that I... Oh, my house is over there. I can actually see it. What need have I for a map, then say I? Alright, well, there's Mash Nasty over here. I'm surprised how many words start with Ash, Blast. Like, I'm really, really surprised how long we've been able to draw out this whole, like, Crash Nasty, Smash Nasty, Blast Nasty, Bash Nasty, Mash Nasty. We've drugged this out for, like, an entire 45-episode series now. I did it... Okay, so people wanted an explanation of why I'm doing those names. I forgot about it. So we were streaming the other day, and people keep asking this, and I'm like, well, you know, I'll talk about it later because I was busy with something, or I was, like, talking to another person in the chat, and I was just like, well, I'll talk about it in a minute. But it's kind of like a... I hate it when I say it's a long story, because then I feel really obligated to give you guys like 2,500 words on how it's a long story. And I hate it when people are like, it's a long story, but then it turns out to be a short story. The reality of the situation is that they just didn't want to explain. I do that all the time, too. I'll be like, well, it's a long story, just hoping that they'll drop it because nobody wants to hear a long story. People are like, oh, well, can you get it down to, like, short novelization form? Or can you get it down to, like, Reader's Digest levels? Just get it down to, like, 2 pages and then, like, a quote under a picture. And I think we can all be happy here. So, Bash Nasty. I think I can make an Ankylo saddle, although from what I remember, it requires a smithy. So, the reason I'm doing this with all the names, Gash Nasty, Bash Nasty, Slash Nasty, all that kind of stuff, it's because back in the Guild Wars days, my friends and I, being jaded from World of Warcraft, we decided we're going to play Guild Wars 2. And so, we made a guild, and everybody in the guild, their first name had to be like Bash Nasty, Smash Nasty. It had to rhyme with Ash. And then Nasty had to be the last name, and then we were a guild called the Nasty Crew, and we just sat around and trolled chat all day and then manipulated the auction house. Like, that was it. That was all that we did. We manipulated the auction house, and we trolled in general chat. I did not get my... As you might expect, I did not get my mileage out of Guild Wars 2. I did get my enjoyment out of it. Like, I really enjoy... Not messing with people in MMOs, but, like, for example, we got caught in traffic on the way out to the Oracle Station. We were trying to get into Oakland. It's a big deal when Kevin Hart comes to town. Like, everybody in the Bay Area was trying to go to this show. And so, anyways, we get there, and actually, we made it to Oakland perfectly fine, but the exit that we had to go on, which is, like, I think it's called Coliseum Way or something like that. I don't know. It's out there. The way that we had to go was totally blocked off by people that couldn't get their tickets taken fast enough, because you have to buy parking when you go in. Where the hell is this saddle at? Oh, it's right here. It's under the thing labeled saddles. I need 10 metal ingots. I need 140 fibers. Fibers! I've got fibers. Oh, they stack in 200s now. How magical is that? Okay. The world is a slightly less intolerable place. Let's go. I've got 44 hides. Okay. I've got 44 hides. They used to be mine, but now they're part of a saddle, so it means that they're yours. Let's go over here. We'll go that right there, and that right there. Wow. That's actually a considerable amount of hides. I thought I had a lot of hides saved up, but then again, I haven't looted all the hides off of my animals yet either, so... Look, they stack. It's amazing. Ankylo saddle. Now, what the Ankylo is useful for is you can actually bash rocks with him. It'll make it a little bit easier for you to collect metal and stone. However, the metal and stone is like 12 trillion miles away from here, so I have no idea when I would ever be able to walk this slow-ass dinosaur all the way. He's like, hey, you call me slow? Like, yes, I did. I'm sorry, Ankylo. You are very, very slow. It's like, I think that I'm a sage and a scholar, to be honest. You know what? I got my PhD in geophysics. You understand that, right? And I'd be like, that's fantastic, but I'm still going to say that you're slow because your land speed is unvaried from a very, very low integer. Alright, so now that we got him saddled up, sorry about that, it's Monday. I'm telling you, it's a Monday right now, and every single thing I do all day will be interrupted by just random people calling me, random people emailing me. It's just like Mondays are the time of the week where everybody goes, no! Because they can still feel the caffeine in their blood, and they still feel like they have a little bit of life left in them. If you've ever worked, you'll know what I mean. Like, Mondays... you still have energy left. By like Thursday, you're like, I can put it in the second file. Maybe I can not do that today. And then just sort of play it off like I did it. It seems really, really hazardous to sit on this dinosaur's back. Like, what happens if you go over really rough terrain? There's a spike right there under the pivotal region that it seems like you could castrate yourself or otherwise injure yourself very, very badly if he decides to take a hop while you're just going through your normal daily routine. Either way, oh my god, he's so slow. He's so slow. He does do a cool little... Does that work on plants too? Ollie, no! I'm being attacked by a kitten. Say hello, kitten. Can you say hello for me? Are you going to make a noise right now? No, you're not going to make a noise. Normally, he never shuts up, but the second you put him on camera, he gets all, like, panicky. I was actually going to start doing face cam pretty soon. I know people are going to hate that. Oh, look, it does work. Okay. Well, I don't want to break any of the decorative rocks around my house because that's just sort of, these are like the equivalent of prehistoric decorative towels. Like those ones that are in the kitchen that you're not allowed to use because your girlfriend says so. That's those rocks right there. I leave them around my house just so they'll make the area look more natural and pretty. So we have an Ankylosaurus. The excitement of that situation, I don't know, it's my favorite dinosaur. It's always been my favorite dinosaur, but now that I have one, I sort of feel like there's a darkness that has entered into the world because I have no idea what we should do with this series after this. Like, I have no concept of what comes next. I was sort of thinking about going on a giant sojourn up to the Northeast Predator Isle and seeing if we could get into that cave and just praying to some deity of Ark Survival Evolved that perhaps the cave would not be bugged. Because all of my caves have been bugged thus far, and so I feel like that's a real aspect of the game that we haven't properly been able to check out. And so, that being the case, I'm trying to make everything as flowery as possible right now to fill in word print. Anyways, I watched, like, Pride and Prejudice last night, and that was the most complicated movie ever, and it's not even a complicated movie. Like, it takes them so much longer to say what they mean than it needs to. Like, they would start out, they'd be like, "Perchance, sir, I do indeed agree that your manners seem to have found themselves a long way from our geographical position. If indeed you do find your manners at a future date, perhaps you should come back to this geographical location, and we might discuss it in a matter post-haste most civilly." I'd be like, wow, that was the longest, most complicated sentence ever. You could have just been like, "Go find some manners, bitch," but you didn't. I don't know, Victorian writing, it just doesn't do something for me. I guess we should probably take the birds. Jumping on a bitty. Alright, so we got some birds right there. Speaking of whom, where's Shiggity? Shiggity? Oh, that's not good. Where's Shiggity? Oh, dude. Did I leave? Where did Shiggity go? Oh, no. Okay, so now we gotta go on a quest to find Shiggity and also drink some water because I guess I'm dehydrated. I don't know where Shiggity is at. Please tell me I don't have a lot of weight on me. Come on, Dino. Yeah, I don't have a lot of weight on me. Alright, so let's go find Shiggity real fast. I'm gonna jump on the fastest dinosaur I have, and we're gonna go look for this bastard. Before I leave, though, sometimes I leave and he's like right up here, and then I feel like an idiot. So I'm gonna look. There he is, right there. He's hidden behind the blob of the rest of everything. He's actually got his head halfway embedded inside of Bolosaurus Flex. So let's go over to this side. I've never forgiven myself for losing Pancake, by the way. I had some people ask me which was my favorite dinosaur. Pancake was my favorite because Pancake was one of the first. And one of the first most useful anyways. I don't know. I liked Pancake. There's something about my herbivores that I find to be more enjoyable than my predators. And so I liked Pancake very, very much. And when Pancake died, I felt a small portion of myself just vanish into the ether. Speaking of which, don't use the word ether. Some reason, every time somebody writes a speech, they use the word ether. I don't know, it comes up a lot, and maybe I'm just a magnet for people using the word ether. But that was like in my commencement speech. This kid used the phrase, and I've never forgotten it. He said, "etherized in the darkness." And I should be like, what thesaurus? This is a high school commencement, bruh. It's just etherized in the darkness? Like with your +5 magical missile of etherization? Like, I just never understood why he said that. You could have said materialized. Materialized in the blank. There were a lot of etherized in the darkness. For whatever reason, that phrase came across super pretentious to me, and I've just never forgotten it ever since. My mom asks me that all the time. She's like, "What was that sentence? What was that sentence from when you graduated that put your teeth on edge?" Etherized in the darkness. Because the rest of the problem was, you've got to match the speech to your audience. This is like speech 101. If you're talking with like auto mechanics, you got to talk like an auto mechanic. You got to speak in terms that make everybody feel familiar, because that's how they lock in on the speech. If you're talking to people who tame dinosaurs, you want to talk like a guy that tames dinosaurs. I don't know how a guy tames dinosaurs talks. I assume much like myself, because I've been taming dinosaurs this entire time. What am I doing right now? I have a plan, man. And I'm not sure what I want to do with it. I kind of want to go back out into the ocean and enjoy the company of my dolphins again. And see if maybe we can, like, track ourselves down a plesiosaur. But I'm already out here with the birds. Let me take a look at the map. Let me decide what I want to do here. I think if we go to the top of the big mountain I could get myself a little bit of stone. My T-Rex is still marked. I figured out how to put push pins into my map. I never figured out how to get the push pins out of my map. It's a long-term problem that I still have not come up with any real solution to. What do I want to do with this right now? We have a little chunk of the map off to the east that hasn't been... Yeah, let's go off to the east a ways. I'd like to check out that little chunk of map over there that we haven't uncovered. And then once we get that uncovered, we'll try and decide what we want to do next. I do enjoy the fact that my birds actually are rideable and keep up. I really wish those birds could keep up, though. It slows down my process. Either that or I could have, like, 500 million pterodactyls, but I just don't think that pterodactyls are good at fighting. They have, like, 12 HP. They die very, very easily, like a hard fart. Like, if you have a real aggressive, like, I just ate at Chipotle fart while riding one, you'll kill it. And so you got to be careful about it. They are fragile creatures with delicate sensibilities. They enjoy brandy and sitting by the fire with a cigar. And then other than that, their activities related to flying and whatnot, they just prefer things to be very, very comfortable. And so if you inconvenience them at all, speaking of which, I still haven't figured out a way to get my stamina back in midair. If anybody knows how to do that, feel free to leave me a comment. I do read my comments, contrary to what some people will say. And it's partially because I get super jaded sometimes. And people will be like, do you even read your comments? And then just to be a smartass, I'll be like, no! Just to like mess with the person because I'm a dick like that. When people... just don't worry about it. It's a long-standing tradition of self-destruction, self-immolation, and otherwise just sabotaging my own well-being. Don't worry about it. It's just this thing that I've always had. I've always been like the most self-destructive person on the block. Seriously. Super self-destructive. Thy name is Splattercat. Like, I just implode randomly. Like, I don't even remember they call it like a category 2 personality where I would just like burn everything down just to be right. I don't know. It's the kind of person that I try not to be anymore because I caught on to it. And I'm like, I used to do that all the time. I still really have like this burning desire in my stomach for pyrotechnics in real life to annihilate everything I've worked for years. I try really, really hard to self-destruct at least once a year. Let's wait for... Where did my other bird go? And why is he reflecting in the water 10 miles behind himself? Did I get too far ahead? I must have got too far. Yep, there he is right there. He'll catch up. It's okay. I try to maintain like a line, so I make a mental line on the map when I travel, just in case I have to be inside my bird right there. That was weird. That was very, very odd. But anyways, one of the tough things about recording and also being a self-destructive individual is that like when people mess with you, you have just this inherent desire. I've heard stand-up comedians talk about it too, like people that have like depression and stuff like that. I've heard people talk about it where it's just like you have like this random desire to just throw the grenade at your feet and be like, come get it, and just watch the whole world explode. I do that too. I very much do that. It's a temptation that I feel on like a daily basis. Let's go and, but I do read my, I guess that's the point that I'm getting at, is I do read my comments. It's just, oh, that's a shark right there. I thought I saw a plesiosaur though. I thought I saw a plesiosaur. That doesn't work out so well when they don't have putty or tat on the back end. There's a little island over there. It's just a little island. Do you want to see my island right now? We're out here in the tropics. Your view was quite myopic. I couldn't think of anything else that rhymes with tropics, so I went with myopic. I mean, but honestly, how do you transition from singing about the tropics to myopic? And then I guess you could go with see me in my office, which is pretty close. It works well enough. I'm like, meet me at my office in the tropics. You're myopic. Yeah, it kind of works, I guess. You got to put it to a beat real fast. You got to be like, drop the beat. That's my impression of a beat being dropped with a thud rather than with a squish. Let's go ahead and put Shiggity down here. I call him Shiggity for short just because I'm getting tired of going like 900 times an episode because my cats think that I'm calling them. And so every time I make that noise, my cats show up from all over the house. And they're like, yo, hey, you called us? What's up? Hey, see, I'm good cat. I came. Most cats don't do this, but, you know, I got your back, bro. I'm here. What's going on? You need me to fight a rat? What's going on? And we're like, since when? Why would you ever think that I need you to fight a rat? When was the last time? I'm going to run out of stamina trying to fly out to this location. Holy bejeebus. And also, I might run out of stamina waiting for... I need some... What I need is... Where did my other bird go? There he is. Alright, so you stick with me. I'm going to try and fly this out slowly. Every now and again. Oh, man. Got my torchlight going on. It looks like there might be something over here. It looks like one of those pre-designed like random caves over there. So we might be able to go check some stuff out. It's going to be bugged though. I'm just letting you know it's totally going to be bugged. There's no way it's not going to be. I've been in like 10 caves now and they've all been just like bugged as shit. I think, hold on. You guys get over here. I had somebody say that they built their base inside of a cave. And I was like, I didn't think that you could even do that, because when I tried to do that, I tried to build a campfire outside of a cave. I thought there was like a wall of non-buildability outside the caves, like just by default. There's like this big wide area that you're not allowed to build inside of, but nope, apparently somebody got to build inside of a cave. I think I can make it. I think I can make it. Are there any predators over here? Are there any predators? How did you get over here, Brontosaurus? It's pretty good at swimming. It's a skill that I have in the back of my head. I'm actually quite buoyant. I eat lots of things that have lots of air inside of them. My poops are always floaters, and so I just extrapolated from there. Let's go back down over here. We got an Ankylo. We got all of our birds here. I'm going to jump off the bird real fast. I don't have any weapons with me, though, so it might not be the best plan. Let me... Shiggity, I'm going to take you, and I'm going to leave you over here for just a second. He's like, no, you're leaving me. I'm like, I'm leaving you for another bird. Everything just got super serious. You got to cue the... Oh, I've got my stone arrows. Okay. You've got to cue up the Days of Our Lives music. Yeah, I'm leaving you. Dun-dun. But why, Gerald? Why are you leaving me? Because your sister's out of her coma. And now I must admit that I love her, even though for the last 5 seasons I've been with you. And then after 5 seasons with you, I'll probably jump to somebody else, because honestly, we got to keep it fresh. How much can you do inside of a random soap opera? Maybe there isn't a cave over here. I thought it felt like there might be. You know, I could have just looked it up, though, on the wiki before I started the episode. Either way, doesn't it have kind of like a cave-like design? It feels like there's going to be a... Well, that scared me for a second. Got a big, red, throbbing Brontosaurus in front of me. It's terrifying. Yeah, it looks like at any moment it's going to... No! I cannot see. Well, damn. Now that I'm cloaked in darkness, I feel like this is probably a good spot to break off the episode. Another 25 minutes occupied. Aw, yes. I will see you all later. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here for the next episode of Ark Survival Evolved. I have no idea how long this is going to go, like, seriously. Like, I kind of feel like I should just keep it going. But then on other hands, like, sometimes I sit down and I'm just like, Ark Day, okay, what do we do on Ark Day? And, like, I sit there and I try and think of things for us to accomplish, and I got nothing. So anyways, I'm glad that you decided to stop on by. I will see you all in the next episode. Hi-do out there, everybody.